On a sunny October morning in 2016, Bengaluru witnessed something it had never seen before. Thousands of citizens formed an unprecedented human chain to protest against a steel flyover that the Karnataka government was planning to build, which would lead to thousands of trees being cut down.
Don't forget, the steel flyover was not just a steel flyover. It was a Godzilla that basically damaged the heart and the soul of Bengaluru. As far as we were concerned, it was flawed on policy, on process, and on people. It was flawed, and we were able to prove that it was flawed on every one of these aspects. The product was flawed. The process was completely opaque. The impact on people was not even thought through.
Cut to today, when Bengaluru has become synonymous with citizen activism. From infrastructural changes to the green cover in the city, the past decade has seen a steady rise of voices that have even started influencing government decisions. The cancellation of the steel flyover, the closure of the Graphite India factory in Whitefield, the clean-up of Bengaluru's infamous lakes, they all have one thing in common. The residents of this city decided to intervene and take charge. The steel flyover Beda movement became one of Bengaluru's iconic citizen protests. It began when Bengalurians found out that the flyover, which was built to ease Bengaluru's traffic, would have no real effect on the traffic at all.
We figured out that the best way to convey our opposition is to show numbers, and show numbers in the form of a peaceful, democratic human chain across the length of the flyover, which is 6.7 kilometers. And few days before that, the human chain, we got cold feet and reduced that length to 4.5 kilometers because we didn't think that many people would come. And then all our expectations were blown away because 8,000 people showed up, and we could have filled up the entire route if we wanted.
After 4 months of protests in 2017, the Karnataka government announced that the steel flyover project had been scrapped, a huge win for citizens. 2 years later, citizens scored another win. The Graphite India factory, against which Whitefield Rising was protesting against because of the pollution that it caused, was shut down.
In 2019 April, Graphite India decided to shut the factory down in Whitefield. That was a huge success. We went all the way to the Supreme Court to fight that battle. So all these small and big changes, the fact that more people are considering taking the bus to commute or taking public transport to commute, or carpooling, or that people want to come and do a survey for a tree so that we can save our trees. All these constitute success, and we just have to understand that there are no easy answers, that we all have to work at it together and we all have to work at it collaboratively.
From civic issues like better roads, better footpaths, better transport connectivity, and even getting people to register to vote, Bengaluru is home to many citizen groups which are involved with as many as 60 causes at the same time.
The times that we live in, as more and more people are safe and secure in their lives, once you have the roti kapda or makan, right, when your basic needs are taken care of, then people have some time to think about larger society and other issues, and the number of people in Bengaluru that can do is probably higher because the city is a different kind of demographic and all that. That's probably one of the reasons why you have more people active in the local civic matters and all of that.
We have been very clear with what the problems are, and it's not always about complaining. Whenever we kind of look at an issue or a challenge, we have always approached it with a solutions-oriented approach. So we just don't go to the commissioner or the MLA or the MP or the corporate saying that this road is dug up or this tree is going to cut, you're not stopping it. No, we always think of what is it that we can do constructively. And we have been able to articulate our demands, our ask, as well as the solution that we want to see very clearly. Over the last 6.5 years, we have worked very collaboratively, whether it is a corporator coming up with a manifesto for the BBMP elections in 2015. The first time a corporator manifesto was developed in Bangalore, we believe. Or working with the MLA to put together a Mahadevpura task force. Yes, there are setbacks. Things move very, very slowly. And when things don't move, we will demand. People are demanding that we will certainly raise our voices.
And politicians are starting to take these groups much more seriously because of their effectiveness.
Suddenly the manifesto has become real. The manifesto is being crowdsourced. They're asking you, what do you think? And we're telling them for the first time, this is not just what we think. This is what we want. And this is what we will hold you accountable to. This, if you ask me, has been the single largest leap of faith between wanting something and having it in a policy framework.
As political parties at the micro and the macro level began to take notice of these citizen movements, it became but natural that the opposition parties were using these citizen movements to attack the ruling party in Karnataka. But how much ever they tried to hijack the protests or even the cause, the citizens were firm about one thing, that the politicians are there to serve them and not the other way around.
We cannot stay away from politics, and politics cannot stay away from citizen engagement. What we do is to make sure that we keep all political parties at equal distance, and we are neutral to any ruling party. In the 3 years of CFB's existence, we have seen 3 different parties in power, and we continue to work with them, fight with them, protest against them, meet with them, collaborate with them, work with them.
You may be a member of a party, and you may be standing here next to me. You're here as an individual, not as a member of that party. So I think it was very important that people understood that we were not aligned at all. The one moment I still remember very strongly was when one of the ministers said, I don't understand why these people are making such a fuss. You've given us a job, you've elected us, now let us do our job. Effectively, he also made a statement saying, we are the rulers, let us rule. And suddenly I think there was a collective blink from Bangalore said, sorry, we elected you, and this is still our city.
I think that one of the biggest changes that we have seen is more voices speaking up. In India or in Bangalore and other cities, we see more people demanding, we see more people raising issues saying that why is garbage put here, or why can't it be clean, why can't the traffic move smoother, why are the street lights not working.
One thing that made politicians take notice was not just the fact that a large number of people were protesting for one cause, it was also how the protests were carried out. The long human chain against the steel flyover, the huge numbers that turned up for the train ride between Cantonment and Whitefield asking for the suburban rail project, or even showing up outside meetings where important decisions were taken. The protests made politicians prioritize the citizens.
At the end of the day, numbers matter. And numbers doesn't mean thousands and lakhs every time. 8,000 people on the human chain is as powerful as 30 people in front of the BBMP office demanding ward committees. Because 30 of us were standing on the steps of the BBMP council where 200 corporators are descending, coming out of their white Fortuners and going into the meeting. And we stand there with our placards. It creates a huge impact and the conversation gets triggered. And that's how we got the ward committees going, for example.
And as citizen activists say, this is just the beginning.
People have moved from apathetic to demanding. The Mahadevpura demands, that protest that we did last year was all about that. We want people to pay attention and we want our voices to be heard. I think it's a fantastic evolution.
No.